History. Allah Azza wa Jal says,
قد خلت من قبلكم سنن فسيروا في الأرض فانظروا كيف كان عاقبة المكذبين.
Similar conditions as yours have passed on before. So proceed throughout the earth and observe how was the end of those who denied. Go and travel and see what happened to the nations before. Learn history, study the lessons. Look at the conflict between good and evil and the outcome of it. This Quran is a clear statement to all the people and a guidance and instruction for those conscious of Allah. Now, we cannot benefit from history if we don't believe in the authenticity of the rule of cause and effect. We have to believe that causes do lead to certain results. If that wasn't the case, then there's no benefit in studying history, because when we study history, what we're looking at are the causes that led to certain results. So the cause-effect rule has to be correct. So we believe if you do this, the outcome would be that. This is how we benefit from history. So we look at the believers of the early nations and we try to emulate them, and we look at the disbelievers of the former nations and we try to avoid their practices. That is how we can benefit from history, because this is not storytelling. Allah is not telling us to study history to entertain ourselves. Allah is telling us to study history to learn the lessons.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا وعملا صالحا وقلبا خاشعا ولسانا ذاكرا. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا واجعله حجة لنا ولا تجعله حجة علينا يا رب العالمين. وبعد. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Almighty, who gave us a chance to be together here today, to give us a chance to be with the Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the judgment day. Before we start, I'm really sure the builder who built this mosque, may Allah reward him, they did a good job, so therefore the walls won't fall. So if all the brothers on the walls can come closer, I'm really sure the walls won't fall. Try to come closer, because the closer you are, inshallah, the more blessing it will be. And the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he used to deliver a lecture or a lesson, the Sahaba, they used to sit all close to each other, and they used to concentrate and listen until they said, even if a bird come and sit on their head, okay, even a bird will come and sit on the head, they won't move, and the bird won't fly, because the bird will think they are statues, because they don't move. They were concentrating and listening. See, now, mashallah, it's better. Like some brothers, they don't want to listen. It's up to them, but they'll be missing on blessing. You think I'm joking? Nah, khalas, if you have excuse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you cure, inshallah. طيب. To start a talk with a question, but normally I do ask questions, but I don't need an answers in return. But I just want you to pay attention, so to see and to hear what I'm going to say. Would you like, in this time, for the Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to come and be with us? Obviously, everyone will say yes. Everyone will say yes. I'll ask you another question. Why? You love the Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You love him. طيب. Loving, is it enough? Is it enough? I'll give you a small example. Normally I'll give examples just for you to understand. You come to your mom and you say, "Mother, I love you so much. Mom, I love you so much." And your mom, she goes, "Son, can you please go and buy me something?" She says, "No, no, no. Mom, I love you, but I don't want to go and get you anything." What type of love is that? And we start with the verse Allah Azza wa Jal said in the Quran. It's just for us to be backed up with the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to the believers, "Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, lima taquluna ma la taf'alun, kabura maqtan 'inda Allahi an taqulu ma la taf'alun." O you who believe, why would you say something that you don't implement? And for those who they say with no implementation, Allah hate the most. I'll ask you another question. If the Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came today, would you follow him? Yes. Now we get to the history and see if you will follow. We will get to the history and see if you will follow. And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he was a normal man in Quraysh. Normal man. But his people, they loved him so much and they called him the trustworthy one, the truthful one. Why? He never ever lied. Ever. And he was a trusted, and he was humble before he was a messenger. And he was very comfortable. He was comfortable in his land. He was comfortable between his tribe. Why? They called him the trustworthy one, the truthful one. They loved him. When Allah Azza wa Jal told the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, when he told him, "Ya ayyuhal muddathir qum fa'anzir," what was the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam doing? You know what al-muddathir mean? When someone covered with his blanket, warm, happy, other than he's been shocked, with the revelation, shocked with Jibreel alayhi salam when he came to him. No, but someone comfortable. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him. When he said, get up and give the da'wah, in other words, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was told that there is no more comfort after today. No more. You would love to be like the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, yeah? Allah Azza wa Jal told the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, get up and give the da'wah and glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Clean yourself from outside and inside, and stay away from the rijs, and from the devil, from the evils, from the bad doing. And for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala you should be grateful, and at the same time you have to be patient. In another word, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling in Nabi alayhi salam, "Ya Muhammad, there is no more comfortable life after today. It's about time to get up, and for the sake of Allah you will go through hardship, but you have to be patient for the sake of the Lord." You want to do the same? Let's see if we can do the same. I'll ask you a small question, no answers are, but I need you to be not offended, please. Because sometimes we need to touch your heart from something that you're doing wrong. But it doesn't mean that I'm picking on you. No, but I'm only reminding you. And Allah Azza wa Jal said, ذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَ تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. If I remind you, I'm reminding myself and I'm reminding you. If this reminder does not benefit you, go and test your iman. Because Allah said, that reminder will benefit the believers. Small question. If you love the Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as you're declaring, don't you like to be like him? Would you like to be like the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam? Bismillah. If you want to be like the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, let's see how was the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and see if you can do the same. Can you be like the Nabi? You love to be, but can you be? It's hard to be. How about if we get to a lower level? Do you love Abu Bakr? Radiyallahu anhu. Abu Bakr, he is the best man in Islam after the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. He is the best man in Islam after the Nabi alayhi salam, and some ulama, they said he is the best out of all after the Prophet and messengers. After the Prophet and messengers. Abu Bakr, was he prophet or messenger? No. A normal man. Yes, sir? Can you be like Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu? طيب. Now we go through a little bit of the history. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, when he was told to get up and give da'wah, what he did? He got up and he went to give da'wah. Who gave da'wah to? He gave da'wah to the closest people to him. He started with Khadija. Khadija al-Mu'mineen radiallahu anha, she was the first woman who embraced Islam. Then he started with Ali. Ali was inside his house because the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was the guardian of Ali. Then the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he told Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr was the best friend of the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. They all accepted Islam. They all embraced Islam. What Abu Bakr did within the same time that the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told him about Islam. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he left the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam and he went and he gave da'wah to his close friend, to his best friend. And Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he gave da'wah to people who've been informed of paradise. You know, maybe you heard the hadith of Al-Ashr al-Mubashirin bil-Jannah. Okay, the first group of people who embrace Islam, they are the group of people who've been informed of paradise. What happened to these people when they embraced Islam? When they embraced Islam, these young people, they were young people. Some of them, they were rich, like Mus'ab bin Umar radiallahu anhu. He's, you know, like Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he said he used to wear a perfume no one could afford to wear the same perfume in Mecca. And he was a young man. If we go to other like Ammar bin Yasir. Ammar bin Yasir was a poor man. Okay, if you get to the side like for example, like Bilal. Bilal was a slave. And who believed in Islam at the beginning? All the young ones, the weak ones, okay, the slaves who embraced Islam. When they went to tell the people what happened, all the people around them, they turned around and they said, "Ya Muhammad, we will accept it from you unless these people, they leave Islam." Why? Because they thought, if you want us to follow you, okay, we are the leaders, we are above all, so let them to come out and then we come to you. And we all know the stories of this blind man who came to the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, okay, and the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam was trying to give da'wah to the leaders of Quraysh. Sort of he turned his back on this blind man, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed Quran who will be recited until judgment day, telling the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, like, why would you go away from the blind person? He may accept Islam better than the others. So Islam is not specified for certain people, it's for everyone. Okay? طيب. When it comes to us to learn this lesson from the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, to get up and give da'wah. Get up and give da'wah. How would you get up and give da'wah if you don't look like the Nabi? Now someone will be offended. Why would you not look like the Nabi if you want to give da'wah? As a small example, where's your beard? You love the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam? Where's your beard? Hala, you tell me ulama, yani they have negotiation, yani like they debated if it's sunnah or fard. Sunnah. For sake of arguing, it's wajib, sunnah mu'akkada. Yani if you leave it, you'll be thinning. But just say for the sake of arguing, it's sunnah. The sunnah with the rules of, if you do it, you'll be rewarded, and if you don't do it, you won't get a sin. Don't you like to do the sunnah? When you see your son praying 2 rak'at of Fajr sunnah, would you tell him, son, why are you praying sunnah? Would you tell him? He wouldn't. Why? Oh, that's different sunnah. Why don't you grow your beard? Are you thinking Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam told you to grow the beard just for the good look? I'll give you an example what's a beard good for, yeah? Apart from medical research, we're not talking about medical research. If you go and search about the medical science, okay, why you have beard, you will see the benefit. We're not talking about that. We're talking about spiritual, benefit. Imagine you are in the city and you are thirsty, you want to drink water, and all the shops, out of all the shops, they close except the casino is open. Would you have the guts to go in and buy water? You're only buying water. You're not doing anything haram. You're only going in to buy water. Would you go in? Wallahi, you would not go in. Why? When you say, I'm beard man, if I go in, if someone see me there, would they believe me I'm buying water? Wallah, the first word they will say, Subhanallah man, this beard man, they hide behind the beards, Casino and beard, that doesn't make sense. Sah wala la? So what do? You prevented yourself, putting yourself into a doubtful position. Why? Just because you had beard. Another thing, you're walking down the city, another person, clean shave, mashallah, with tie, he see you walking, you look at him, you don't even know who he is, and he goes, Assalamu alaikum. Oh, alaikum salam. How did he know you're Muslim? How did he know you're Muslim? This shows if you're Muslim or not, yeah? Identity. Then what happened if a person does not have a beard and he went to the casino? Wallah, he only want to buy water, nothing else. But when he walked in buying water, he turned around and he bumped into someone, he couldn't stand on his feet anymore. Sure. What would happen next? Have you ever seen someone born as a gambler? And you know who fall into gambling? Only those who they think they would not do it. Man, I'm going to casino only for a cup of coffee. I guarantee you, it's not me, man. I'm not the person who will fall into the haram. Not a chance. And they start with $1. It's only $1, man. Look, I'm a smart person. I only put $5 on this side which I want to gamble with, but the rest of the money saved. What happened the next month? He's selling his house, selling his wife, selling his family. Because of what? Beard, yes mate. Beard will save you. And the same thing, hijab for the sisters. Same thing, hijab for the sisters. You know why I ask you if Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam comes here, would you be happy? And he said yes. Let's see if you will be happy. And Nabi Alayhi Salatu Wasallam called the people in Quraysh. And he told them, when he called them, they all came. He said, Allah subhanahu, before he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent me, he said, if I tell you there is an army coming from around this mountain, okay, to fight you, would you believe me? They said, Wallahi, we will believe you. You never ever lied before. You know when he says an army coming from around the mountain, what it means? It means he's telling them, if I told you the impossible is happening, would you believe me? Not a chance, no way in the world an army will come to Mecca without them knowing about it. Why? At least the dust that will come, okay, from the horses and from the soldiers walking, that's good enough to fly in the air and for the Mecca people to see. So really they were saying, even if it's impossible, we will believe you, he never lies. He said, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent me to you to take you out from the darkness to the light, to take you out from worshipping the idols to worship Allah alone. And he started calling them out by names. Ya Bani Abdul Muttalib, yani he's calling his family. Wallahi, I cannot do nothing for you. I cannot save you. I cannot benefit you. It's you what you do, and you are responsible of your action. Okay, so he started calling everyone by names. Who was the first one to call him off, or to tell him off? His uncle. His uncle Abu Lahab. He stood up. He said, "Tabban lak ali hadha da'awtana." He told him off. Is this why you called us? His uncle, huh? Tayyib. If you were there and you're not his uncle, we're saying this is his uncle. You're not his uncle, and today you're not following the steps of the Nabi. Wouldn't you be afraid to be amongst those who didn't believe in him in this time? I'll give you another easy one. And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, when they used to pray in the mosque, the Sahaba used to say, the one who used to come late for the Fajr prayer, yeah? He used to come late. When we say coming late, yani he still came. Whoever used to come late, we used to call him munafiq, alimun nifaq. Not only hypocrite, well known to be hypocrite. He came late. I'll ask you, don't answer me. How late are you to the Fajr prayer? Or how early are you to, rephrase. Do you get up and pray Fajr? If you do, alhamdulillah. If you don't, man, the one who used to come to the mosque and pray with the Nabi and the Sahaba late, he was hypocrite, munafiq. What are you? So don't wish to be in his time. Because if may Allah save us, If we would have been in his time, God knows what would have happened. And the Nabi alayhi salam, this is just to make you happy. I don't want to put you down. I don't want to be only pessimistic, okay? And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he said to the Sahaba, he said, a time will come for those who believe in me, each one of them is better than 50. Better than 50. And then the Sahaba, they said 50, then them, he said, no, better than 50 of you, of the Sahaba. Why? You know why? The time today, what happening today, the fitan, the corruption today, it's not as much as what it was in his time. But it doesn't mean that, like his time was like an easy time. No, it's harder. It's hard. But today, what we're doing, we are lacking in knowledge. We don't have much knowledge. So therefore, we don't have anything to prevent us from doing things haram. And that's why I want to go a little bit into history to see what they used to do and what they've done, and let's apply it to our time and see what we can do. Alright, what happened to them and what's happening to us, and see if we can benefit from the history that happened in the time of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. Starting at the beginning, in Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he was called to give da'wah. Can you get up and give da'wah like Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam? And don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed, because you're doing it for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. You can't be like Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, be like Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he got up straight away and he gave da'wah to the people. Alright? You can't be like them, you can be less, but at least get up and do something for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But before you go and do it, you have to educate yourself first. How much you need to be educated for you to start with? I'll give you an example. What Bilal radiallahu anhu knew when he was getting tortured, okay, and he accepted not to say anything wrong, and he was only saying ahadun ahad, one is one. How much knowledge Bilal had? When Umayyah bin Khalaf, okay, put the rocks on the guts of Bilal, how much did he know? Bilal, he only knew one word, ahadun ahad. That's Allah is one, God is one. That's all what he knew. Later on they asked Bilal, they said, yeah Bilal, this person who was saying ahadun ahad, okay, who was saying ahadun ahad, the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he said when he was ascended to paradise, he said, I heard the footsteps of Bilal in paradise. And when he came down, he said, yeah Bilal, what do you do? What do you do? Then Bilal, he said, why ya Rasulullah? He said, wallahi, I have heard your steps, your footsteps in paradise behind me. What do you do? So therefore, to be in that position, he said, wallahi ya Rasulullah, I don't do more than when I make wudu. When I make wudu, I pray all the prayers that's required by this wudu. I'll ask you a question. How much sunnah do you pray? A day, in Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, whoever prayed 12 rakat other than the fard, Allah Azza wa Jal will build him a house when we say a house, not a normal house. Okay? He built him a house in paradise. 12 rakat, like you pray 2 before Fajr, 4 before Dhuhr, and 2 after Dhuhr, 2 after Maghrib, and 2 after Isha. 12. Do you pray him? That's what Bilal used to do. Then Bilal, he said, wallahi ya Rasulullah, I don't do more than when I make wudu, I pray whatever required by this wudu. And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam did not want these to be specialized and specified only for Bilal. Then he said, whoever prayed 12 rakat other than the farida, Allah will build him a house in paradise. Can you do that? And you know when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said he build you a house, Allah Azza wa Jal build you a house in paradise, what it means? It means that you will be in paradise. So therefore you will get a house. And some ulama, they said for every day you get a house, not a house in your lifetime. For every day you do a house. Okay? What Bilal knew only one word, ahadun ahad. They said, yeah Bilal, how did you handle the punishment? How did you handle it? You know Ammar bin Yasir radiallahu anh, when they came to him and they were killing his mother in front of him, he swore at the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. And he mentioned, okay, their gods. And then when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he saw Ammar, he tried to turn away because he was embarrassed from Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Then the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, Ya Ammar, if they come again, you can say the same thing again. Because Allah Azza wa Jal only judges you for what's in the heart. He does not judge for what you say, especially when you are forced to say something. Okay? طيب, Ammar bin Yasir, he handled the punishment. He couldn't, okay, like see his mother getting killed, so he swore. Why Bilal didn't? They asked him, Ya Bilal, what made you, okay, handle the punishment? He said, I looked into my heart and I valued and balanced the Iman, the taste, the beauty of Iman, and the punishment and the hardship of the punishment. My Iman and the sweetness of Iman was more, so it's overpowered the punishment, so therefore I didn't feel the punishment. I did not feel it. When I was saying Ahadun Ahad, I did not feel the pain. طيب, in our days now, if someone, I'm not going to say like he gets sick to the stage where he can't get up, he get a little bit sick, and it's a Friday prayer, what do you do? Alhamdulillah, I have concession. Sure, you can stay home, you don't get the Friday prayer. Where people, they used to, I'll tell you a story of the Sahaba when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he went to the battle of Uhud, and 70 of the Sahaba got killed, and Nabi Alaihi Wasallam came back to Medina. What happened? Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, what happened now if Quraysh, because you know when Quraysh, they fought Nabi Alaihi Wasallam, they left. Yani if someone defeated someone, normally what they do? They go to their town, they go to their city. No, these guys, they left, they went back to Mecca. And Nabi ﷺ, he told Ali, he said to Ali, go and have a look and see if the army of Quraysh, they go on their camels, that means they're going back to Mecca, it's a long journey. If they jump on their horses, that means they're going to the Medina. So he went, he had a look, no, they took the camels. So he came to the Nabi, said, Ya Rasulullah, they riding the camels. So he realized they're going back to Mecca. When Nabi went to Medina, he thought, what happened along the way if someone comes to Abu Sufyan and he said, Ya Abu Sufyan, we defeated the Muslims, so how come we go to the city and finish him off? So Nabi ﷺ, he thought, okay, we need to trick him. How can we trick him? To show him that Muhammad ﷺ and his army did not get defeated and they are after you. So Nabi ﷺ, he told everyone who was with him in the battle of Uhud to come back, we are following Abu Sufyan. We are following Abu Sufyan. So when someone will go and tell Abu Sufyan, Muhammad ﷺ, after you, he will run away and he would not think to come back. Okay? What we wanted from this story. When the Nabi ﷺ, he said, for everyone who was with me in Uhud to come back with me. The next day, Nabi ﷺ, he went to an area they call it Hamra al-Asad. The next day, 2 of the Sahaba walked in. And they were late one day, 24 hours late. When they walked in, Nabi ﷺ was upset with them. He said, why didn't you respond to my call? Why didn't you respond? You know what they said to him? They said, Ya Rasulullah, Wallahi, we didn't have anything to ride and we are wounded, we couldn't walk, so we were crawling to you. We left the time that you told us to come out, but now we got to you. Men, they were crawling to get to the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I'm not telling you to crawl to go to the mosque. Can you walk there? Can you drive there? Okay, so this is what we learn from the Sahaba, how they used to be. Now when you say about the Sahabi, radiyallahu anhum wa radu an, they deserve it. Wallahi, they deserve it. You want to be like them? I'll give you like another example from another scholar. Okay, he was challenging people who were saying they can go into the fire. He said, I'll challenge you, I'll go into the fire. These people, they were lying. They used to use some type of a cream, they call it like the frog cream. If you put it on your hand and you put it into the flame, okay, you don't get burns. Okay, the flame does not burn you. So what happened, these people, they used to cover themselves with this cream and they used to go through the fire, telling the people that they have karamat, mashallah, tabarakallah, to make the people believe in them and so on. This scholar, he came to him and he said, I will go with you into the same fire to show that you're lying under one condition. What? If you're saying this is a karama, no matter what you do, Allah will save you from the fire. We need to wash ourselves with vinegar because vinegar will remove that creams. Okay? We will wash ourselves with vinegar, then we will go through the fire. They said no, and they didn't because they knew they would get burned then. Okay? Now the student of this scholar, they came to him, they said, just say for the sake of arguing, they did wash themselves with vinegar and they went through. Would you go through? He said, Wallahi, I swear by Allah who raised his heaven and flattened his earth, I will go through because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved Ibrahim to show the world that his religion is correct. I would have went through and Allah would have saved me like he saved Ibrahim. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He He saves His prophet and messengers and the pious and saint and so on. Why? To show the people that this is my religion, which we say signs and miracles. Okay? طيب. Another thing in Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, when he was in Mecca, we know, like in almost in the 4th year, alright, where the Quraysh were torturing the Sahaba, especially the weak ones, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he told them to get to Abyssinia, to get to Habasha. Before they went there, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam Surah Al-Kahf. Man, when we recite Quran and when we read the hadith of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, they are there for reasons. Okay, they are there for reasons. And if we don't follow them, if we don't follow the Quran and Sunnah, what are we doing? Okay? How many people they say, Wallah, you know, like I'm patient. If something wrong happened to him, he's not patient anymore. He said, Wallah, I was patient before. What happened to you before to be patient? Nothing. Or you were patient for nothing? And when something happened, you can't be patient? What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did in that time? He revealed Surah Al-Kahf to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to tell him what? Surah Al-Kahf got 3 stories, yeah? The first story talking about these young men who ran away from their people and they went to the cave. In another word, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was telling in Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, He said, if your people, okay, they are weak and they're getting tortured and they cannot be saved from what's happening to them from Quraysh, let them go and migrate from where they are to someone else to be protected, just like the people of Ahl al-Kahf. Look what happened to them. Because they believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they left their people for the sake of Allah. They left their land for the sake of Allah, their families and relatives for the sake of Allah. They left their wealth and everything they had for the sake of Allah. What happened? Allah Azza wa Jal made him to go into a cave because there were no one there to protect them and help him. Allah made him to go into the cave and sleep in the cave for almost 300 years. Would someone sleep for 300 years? And you know some ulama what they said? They said for the blessing of this group, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even saved the dog. Why? Does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala judge the dog? No. Why the dog was saved? It's because of the blessing of this group. Even the animal was saved. So Allah was telling Nabi ﷺ, let him to migrate, let him to go. Where to? Then the Nabi ﷺ, he told him to get to Abyssinia, to Habasha. There is a king there and he is a just king and no one will harm you while he's there. Then what's the second story was? The second story, the story with Musa and Khidr alayhim salam. What's the story with Musa and Khidr? If you think about it logically, you will be on the side of Musa. If you think about Allah Azza wa Jal can do anything and everything, you will be on the side of Khidr. When they were going, okay, along the journey, what happened? Khidr, he saw a little kid, he killed him. He killed a little kid. Logically, would you kill someone, would you kill a little kid? Of course not. Why would you kill a little kid? Innocent. Okay, Musa did not accept it. Then they walked more, okay, they went along the journey when they had to go from one side of the river to the other, okay, and they found some young people who got a boat. They took them from one side to the other for free. What the Khidr did, he made a hole in the boat. Man, someone who looked after you and he took you from one side of the river to the other for free. Why you damage his boat? And what was the third story? They went to a village that were hungry and thirsty. This village, they kicked them out. They kicked them out. They didn't offer them anything. And when they were leaving the village, then Al-Khidr, he saw a wall is about to fall. So what he did, he came and he straightened the wall. Yani he fixed it up. Musa looked at him and he said, they didn't even give us food or water. You're fixing their wall? Okay, you could have fixed it for something in return, for benefit. From outside, was the Khidr action correct or wrong? From outside they were wrong. But when Khidr, he came to Musa and he said, Allah gave me knowledge that He didn't give you. Allah Azza wa Jal gave me knowledge that He didn't give you. And because I have now more knowledge, then you will realize what I did is right. What did I do? I killed a young man, a young person, because this young person, this young kid, when he grows up, he will be a bad person who will make his parent, his righteous parent, to go astray because of him. So what Allah did? saved the parents by killing the child. What happened to the boat? He said, these young men, they are good people, they're helping the people, but there is a king who's coming and taking all good boats by force. So I made a problem with the boat, so when the king comes, he will see this boat, okay, it's not like the best, so he won't take care of them. So I saved the boat for this young man. And the third one, he said, this village, they had a righteous person, and this righteous person, he passed away, and he left behind 2 young kids. And he left them a treasure under the wall. If this wall fall, then the people will take the treasure or straighten the wall to save the treasure of these 2 young men. When they grow up and they will be strong enough, then they can come and take the treasure. So in another word, what Allah Azza wa Jal telling the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, He's telling him, Ya Muhammad and your followers, what you see happening, you don't know what's coming behind. This torture, okay, and what's Quraysh doing to you, don't think it's hard. Don't think this is the end. This is not even the beginning. And we all know the story when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he was with the Sahaba when they were digging the trench, the Khandaq, okay, and they came to a big rock, they couldn't break it. In this time, in Ma'arat al-Khandaq, in this time, the Sahaba used to say, if someone wanted to go and do something, okay, and he got to the toilet, if he wanted to go and do something, he was so afraid to go and do it. They were so scared. Okay, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned it in the Quran, and He said like their heart almost came to their throats. That's how scared they were. Alright, the Sahaba, they were scared from Quraysh, because Quraysh collected all the tribes around to come and destroy the Medina at once. They were all scared and afraid of what happening. And what the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was telling the Sahaba when he was trying to break, this stone, and a spark came out. You know what the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said? He said, Allahu Akbar. Allah Azza wa Jal showed me the treasure of Persia. Man, we're talking Quraysh, and we're talking Medina, and we're so scared to go and do a thing. And these people here, they more in numbers and more in weapon, and we are surrounded. And what we got to do in Persia? What we got to do? What's Persia? Persia in that time, it was the second, or actually it was Persia and Rome in that time. They were the 2 strongest, kingdoms in that time. And they used to call, the Arabs in the desert, they used to call them the wrecks of the desert. They didn't even consider them to be human. And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam was trying to tell the Sahaba, your battle, your fight, it's not now, it's not here. Your fight is with Persia and with Rome. That's what the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was telling the Sahaba. So don't be scared. And what happened? Did the Sahaba fight in Ma'arat al-Khandaq? They didn't. What happened to Quraysh? Allah Azza wa Jal sent a wind, blew them away. They left and they went away. Alright, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was telling the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam and the Sahaba, what you're seeing, it's not what you think is happening. Just like in Sulh al-Hudaybiyah, when the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he was going to Mecca, and he had his ihram to do, to do the Umrah. And they stopped the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. They stopped the Nabi, Quraysh, they stopped him. And they came and in that time, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had big army, they were strong, they were established in Medina and so on. If he wanted to fight Quraysh, he could. When he was going there, they stopped him to go in, and they made an agreement, they call it Sulh al-Hudaybiyah. You know what was in this agreement? In the agreement, apart, you can't go to Mecca now, you come the following year, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. One of the rules, it says, if someone come to you to embrace Islam from us, you return him to us. If someone come to you, you return him to us. And if someone comes from you to us, we accept him. This is, this contract, the only person who will accept it, the weak one. Because it's not just. And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam accepted. And Umar radiallahu anhu, he said, Ya Rasulullah, aren't we on the right path? Why are you accepting what they're saying? And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he told them not to get involved. and the Nabi ﷺ accepted this ruling. Then what happened then? Allah Azza wa Jal revealed a verse in that time, إِنَّا فَتَحْنَا لَكَ فَتْحًا مُبِينًا. Yani the time where the Sahaba, they thought, okay, yani Quraysh, they're trying to minimize the spread, okay, of Islam. Allah Azza wa Jal was telling Nabi As-Salam, because of this contract, I have opened for you victory. Yani from now on, you won't be losing any battle. You start winning. Why? Why? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's the best planner. So He was telling them, don't take things as you see it. Alright? I'll give you an example to make you understand. Just say you're driving a car. You're driving a car. And along the freeway, your tire blew up. And you had to park on the side and go down and change the tire. It take you like maybe 5-10 minutes, depends how strong you are. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Really, if you look at it, you think it's bad, man. I lost the tire and wasted my time. I said, what happened if Allah Azza wa Jal told you, look, I blew your tire now because 2 minutes later you would have turned a wrong turn and the car would have came and smashed you and you would have lost your legs. Alhamdulillah for the tire. So the tire becomes a good thing or a bad thing? Okay? So Allah Azza wa Jal was telling us what would happen. What would happen after that, inshallah, will be benefit. Why? But you have to be patient. You have to thank Allah Azza wa Jal. That's why we say no one should be praised for anything good or bad except Allah Azza wa Jal. Alright? Tayyib. What the third story was? The third story, he was talking about Dhul Qarnayn. Dhul Qarnayn was a Muslim king who ruled the whole world. And in other words, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was telling in Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, okay, if Allah Azza wa Jalla want, He will make you rule the whole world. He will make you a king of the whole world. And we know Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, before he passed away, he said, Allah Azza wa Jalla gave me, okay, the opportunity to choose between eternity or die and be beside Allah, and I chose to be beside Allah. Yani imagine the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam chose to be until the judgment day. Wallah, we will be the first one to be. A lot of people, they wish for the Khilafah to come. Don't misunderstand me. I wish for the Khilafah to come. And every one of us should wish for the Khilafah to come. But really you should be scared and afraid. Why? Because when the Khilafah comes, most of the Muslims, they'll be in the graveyard. A small example. What is the ruling for someone who commits adultery if he's married? For the woman to be stoned and for him to be whipped until death. How many people do we know in our community that are committing adultery? May Allah save us. In other words, okay, Wallah, like it's just to put it together. If you see someone who's committing adultery, who committed adultery, or that's how he is, okay? When you look at him and you see him, and like maybe he's a gambler, he's an alcoholic, whatever, you name it. When you look at him, you feel like disgusted, yeah? You feel like, A'udhu Billah, man, what are you doing? Fear Allah, taqillah, whatever, you name it, yeah? How many of us deal with interest? And what's worse? Zina or interest? And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, for those who they deal with interest, the lowest level of dealing with interest, at the lowest level, like a person sleeping with his own mother on the top of the Kaaba 70 times. 70 times. So which one is worse? Someone who committing adultery, gambler, alcoholic, or someone sleeping with his own mother? I'm not saying on the top of the Kaaba. Which one is worse? The one who deal with riba, we shake his hand, we give him a hug, inni uhibbuka fillah, it's no problem. And the one who's committing adultery, a'udhu billah, stay away from me. So which one is worse? You wishing for the Khilafah? May Allah guide us and help us. Maybe most of us will be in the jail. Okay, so what happened? Allah Azza wa Jal has told the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam in Surah Al-Kahf, this is what would happen. So make sure you tell your ummah, you tell your followers, okay, Allah Azza wa Jal will support them and help them. From that time, Khabbab bin Adi radiallahu an, he got captured by Meccan people. Okay? And they were trying to cut him in pieces. Not only killing him, they were cutting him in pieces. And they said to him, they said, Ya Adi, Ya Khabbab bin Adi, Adi is his father. Ya Khabbab, would you wish for Muhammad والسلام, to be in your position and you will be in your home with your family? He said, Wallahi, I don't wish for me to be with my family and a thorn getting the finger of the Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Not a thorn. To get the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. And then when they were torturing him, he asked him, he said, would you allow me to pray 2 rakat for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal? You know, they had, as we call it, this ruling in their times, or this culture or tradition. If they want to kill someone, they ask him what you wish for, and they give him what he wishes for. Okay? So he prayed 2 rakat, and he did him a quick and fast. And when he got up, what did he say? He said, Wallahi, I prayed fast because I didn't want you to say if I took him long that I was afraid from death. He was not afraid from death. And when they were trying to kill him, okay, cutting him in pieces, trying to call him, what he did, he raised his hand and he said, Allahumma anta salam wa minka salam balligh salami Rasulallah. Oh Allah, anta salam. Okay, and as-salam, the name of Asma'ullah al-Husna. Wa minka salam, and peace from you. Okay, pass my greeting to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Where was he? In Mecca. Where was the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam? In Medina. And what the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in Medina? Wa alayka as-salamu ya Khabbab. Who told the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam about the salam of Khabbab? Jibreel alayhi salam, yeah? طيب. Don't we know the hadith of the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam? He said, Allah Azza wa Jal has created angels, sayyahin, angels running, okay, and walking on this dunya, on this earth for one reason. You know what's the reason? If you say, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, they take it and they go to the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and he says, Allahumma salli ala Rasulullah, Allahumma salli ala Rasulullah. Sah or la? Okay, so this is what the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was trying to teach the ummah. Follow the Quran. When they asked Aisha radhiallahu anha, how was the Nabi? She said he was the Quran walking between the people. He was the Quran walking between the people. Now we had enough on you. Let's concentrate a little bit on our women. When we come to our sisters, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect them, okay, from the haram. When we come to the sisters and we tell them, when we mention Aisha, how do you feel? Radiyallahu anha ummul mu'mineen. When we mention Hafsa, how do you feel? Radiyallahu. When we mention Fatima, how do you feel? You feel happy about these women, yeah? طيب. When we mention Khadija radiyallahu anha, how do you feel? And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, when he received the revelation in Medina telling the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam about the woman to put the khimar on top of their heads, what happened? Aisha radhiallahu anha, she said, may Allah bestow His mercy upon the women of Al-Ansar, yani the women of Al-Madinah. When the verse was revealed, they looked like crows, yani black from top to bottom. Now we come to our sisters and we tell them, are you happy with your hijab? Is your hijab like Aisha? Is your hijab like Hafsa? Is your hijab something you're happy with? Or the hijab you thought just putting a scarf and covering the hair and wearing something tied and you're covering from top to bottom? This is what hijab. Haven't you heard the hadith of the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam when he went and he visited paradise and at the same time he went past people of hell, may Allah save us from hell, and he said, I saw, okay, most of the people of hell are the women. And they asked the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, said, why ya Rasulullah? He gave him 2 descriptions. And wallahi, I swear by Allah, and everyone can see it, these 2 descriptions, they are within our women. May Allah save our daughters and wives and sisters and mothers. What the first one? He said, kasiyat, ariyat. Yani they're covered, but they are naked. They covered but naked. How can it be? Yani in his time, I would have been amazed for Sahabi to say, Ya Rasulullah, how can someone be covered and naked? Man, all the clothes, the tight clothes they're wearing today. Don't they look like naked? What the second one? يَكْفُرْنَ الْعَشِيرِ. يَكْفُرْنَ الْعَشِيرِ. What's يَكْفُرْنَ الْعَشِيرِ mean? And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, a man may come and do so many things for his wife, good. And he does one little thing bad. She turns around and she said, Wallahi, I never seen anything good from you. May Allah save a woman, okay, from this corruption. But this is reality. This is reality. I know we don't have much time, okay? Please go back to the history. See what the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to do. See how the Nabi ﷺ looked after the Sahaba, how he looked after how he told the Sahaba about Islam. Man, it took him 13 years. 13 years in Mecca teaching the meaning of La ilaha illallah. Why? Teaching La ilaha illallah for 13 years. Why? If we come today to our times today and you tell someone, to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of something haram he's doing, straight away he say, brother, what can I do? This is how everyone like. This is how everyone like. Tell him, brother, would you like to be resurrected with these people on the judgment day? A'udhu billah. So why are you doing like them? No, I don't want to. Why are you doing like them? Why being like them? Okay? The Sahabi, for example, like Mus'ab bin Umair, as we said, he was the one who used to wear perfume. No one ever in Mecca did wear the same perfume, yeah? Mus'ab bin Umair radiallahu anh, he was a young man who believed in Islam. And the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he sent Mus'ab to Medina. And he told him to go to Medina, alright, and give da'wah there. Medina people, they were not Muslims. Mus'ab radiallahu anh, he went there as one man. Huh? Imagine we were all Mus'ab radiallahu anh. What would have happened to Australia later on? Mus'ab radiallahu anh, he went to Medina and he was telling the people about Islam. And two leaders of Medina, Khudayr ibn Usayd and Sa'ad bin Mu'adh. These two men, they were the leaders, They were the leaders of Medina. What happened? Someone came to Usayd and they said, Ya Usayd, hurry up, run. Someone corrupting your people. He's taken them out of your religion and talking about the religion of this man who called Muhammad in Mecca. So Usayd, he ran to him and he told Mus'ab to get up and leave. And he took his spear. He said to get up and leave. Then Mus'ab, very calm and humble, what he said to him, he said, Ya Usayd, like you are the leader of Medina and you are a wise and smart person and you can distinguish between right and wrong. Just listen to what I have to say. And if you don't accept it, I'll just walk away. You wouldn't lose anything. And if you accept what I'm saying, then I'll tell you what to do. Then Usayd, he said, Wallahi laqad ansaftana. Wallahi, you've been just. I will listen. Tell me. And he started telling him about Islam. Man, Usayd, he could not handle to wait until later on he said to Mus'ab, how can I embrace Islam? How can I enter this religion? He said, you need to go and wash. You need to wash, clean yourself from outside. Make wudu, then come and you say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Mus'ab said, Usayd, he ran to his house. He came back and the water still dripping. The water still dripping. And he said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Wallahi, there is a man behind me. If he embraced Islam, he got the whole Medina. He went to Sa'ad bin Mu'adh. Usayd went to Sa'ad bin Mu'adh. And Sa'ad bin Mu'adh, he was very smart and brave man. He looked at him, he said, Wallahi, you went with one face and he came with another. What is the story? He said, hurry up, this man putting a spell on your people. He wanted him to go quick. This man putting a spell on your people. You may save him and you may not. Then Sa'ad, he ran to him. And when he saw him, he said to him, look, what are you doing? He told him exactly the same thing. He said, yes, Sa'ad, I heard that you are the leader of Medina and you are a wise and smart person and you can distinguish the difference. Listen to what I've got. If you don't like it, I'll just leave you and go. You won't lose anything. He said, Wallahi laqad ansaftana. You've been just. When he told him, he said, how can I enter this religion? How can I enter this religion? He told him the same thing. When he had a shower, he came back, he said, Wallahi, the water still dripping. And he embraced Islam. You know what Sa'ad did in that time when he embraced Islam? He went to his tribe. He called them all. And they came all, they got together. And he said, what do you think about me? They said, you are the leader or the son of our leader. He said, when I speak, what do you take my word? They said, Wallahi, your word is heard. And he said, when I make decision, what he said? He said, Wallahi, when you make a decision, you fulfill, your decision. He said, I swear by Allah, if you don't accept the religion of Muhammad, I would not speak to any one of you or visit any one of you. Man, because he was a leader, a valued person, respected person, they said every single person who was in that gathering, they embraced Islam. Man, this is just a little bit discussion between Mus'ab radiallahu anh, and Sa'ad bin Mu'adh. All of the Medina becomes what? Madinatul Nabi. Madinatul Nabi. This is the man Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has backed up the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam with. And what happened to us today? What happened? Why are we not following our religion properly? Why? Man, why when you raise your hand you feel like your heart is not speaking, it's only your tongue? Why? Why? Why in Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, when he went to Hajj, he stood from Dhuhr time up to Maghrib time, yani the same way, standing, raising his hand, asking Allah from Dhuhr till Maghrib without pulling his hand down. What happened when we got to Hajj in that time? Most of this time we're sleeping, tired, crying for food and water. And for the last 10 minutes, everyone's saying, Ya Rabb, grant me paradise. Ya Rabb, grant me paradise. Now, man, what are you doing to enter paradise? What are you doing? And the sisters who's wearing this hijab, what are you doing? Where are you going? How would you say this is hijab? Man, how would you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? If a Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam comes down, who will be happy to invite him to his house? What would he see in your house? Big plasma TV bigger than the wall? Where Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he said it's haram, he made forbidden for someone to put a curtain on the wall that does not cover something, and he's just putting a curtain there for good look. It's haram, it's forbidden. Man, what do you do when you invite the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam to your kitchen? When the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he saw Ali radiallahu anhu dipping the dry bread into vinegar and oil, and he said, Ya Ali, 2 types of food at once? What would you do if he comes into your kitchen? These lessons we learn from the history, we need to go back to the history, man. We need to see what the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam was doing and what he did to the Sahaba. How come this Sahaba, how come Khalid ibn al-Walid on his own, when he was with Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah fighting, the Roman, he said, Wallahi, and in front of him there were 400,000, from the soldiers of the Roman. He said, Wallahi, I will fight them all by myself. He said, Ya Abu Ubaidah, because Abu Ubaidah was motivating, the army. We are the Muslims, and when we die shuhada, and rihat al-jannah, the smells and the fragrance of paradise is like it's waiting for us. Khalid, he came with one word, he said, Wallahi ya Amir, because Abu Ubaidah in that time he was the Amir al-Jaysh. He said, Ya Abu, Wallahi ya Amir, I will fight them all by myself. Why? You know why? He understood the Quran. He understood the Quran, and he took the Quran as a real word from Allah Azza wa Jal. And one of the people, he said to him, like, how would you fight him by yourself? He said, haven't you heard Allah Azza wa Jal saying in the Quran that disbelievers are dead? أَمْوَاتٌ غَيْرُ أَحْيَاء. Haven't you heard Allah Azza wa Jal said in the Quran that disbelievers are dead, and one alive can fight them 100, 1,000, yani million, 1,000 dead people. Sah wala la? Got to the graveyard, can you fight them all? They're all dead. That's how he used to look at it. That's how he looked at it. Man, when you got to do a job and you're doing the job for non-Muslim, wallahi, I heard this millions of times. When you do the job for non-Muslim, and if we ask you, like, who are you doing the job, wallah, for this guy, he's non-Muslim, and tell wallah he's not a Muslim, and you go, wallah, it's better to do a job for non-Muslim than doing it for a Muslim. Why? Man, because the non-Muslim, they pay on the spot, and they give you your haqq, they give you your right. When you do it for a Muslim, man, they nag and they don't pay you, and they don't even pay you the money. Why? Why? Just because of one thing, wallahi. Only one. Nothing else. Only one thing. You know what it is? We don't know Allah. We don't know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we knew Allah Azza wa Jal, it would have been different. Just as the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and I'll finalize it by this because I know it's a time of adhan inshallah. And Nabi alayhi salatu wasallam, he said, Allah gave me a permission to tell you about a rooster. He gave me a permission to tell you or talk to you about a rooster. He said this rooster, okay, the feet of the rooster, they went down to the seventh earth and the head is bent under the throne of Allah Azza wa Jal. Yani how big is this rooster? To the seventh heaven, to the seventh earth, and the head below the throne of Allah Azza wa Jal. I'll tell you the hadith of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He said if we compare the seventh heaven and the seventh earth to the kursi, okay, of Allah Azza wa Jal, it's like 7 coins have been thrown in a desert. Yani how big the earth to the kursi, to the footstool. Nothing. And he said if you compare the kursi to the throne of Allah Azza wa Jal, it's like a ring thrown in the desert. Yani how big is the throne of Allah Azza wa Jal? And then he said, and the throne compared to Allah Azza wa Jal like a ring in your hand. Man, what are we for Allah Azza wa Jal? This rooster bending the head under the throne and the feet to the seventh earth, you know what he said? Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, every day he said, Allahumma ma a'zamak, Rabbi ma a'zamak. Oh my Lord, how great you are. And Allah Azza wa Jal, every day he responds to this rooster, he says, if they knew how great I am, they would never commit any sin. If we know how great Allah Azza wa Jal is, we would not commit any sin. Man, if you love your father so much, and you respect your father so much, and you look up to your father so much, would you like to disobey him? Would you like to disobey him? No. How come you're disobeying Allah Azza wa Jal who created you? Who you declare that you love him more than your mother? You love him more than yourself. How come? Why? What is stopping you? Habib, go to the graveyard. Please go and visit it. And check. Can you see similar ages or same ages, or you see young and old and man and woman? Go and have a look. Go today and go after 7 days and see what happened. You'll come back and you can't recognize the land. Why? Every day people dying. Every day is getting filled. When is your turn? When is your time? Are you ready? If you're ready, make sure you increase your deed. And if you're not, you better be careful before the time comes, and then nothing will help you except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يسر لنا الأمر. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to look after our soul and to bestow His mercy upon us and to grant His paradise. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala properly and glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our heart, and follow the Quran according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to follow, and follow the sunnah of the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam as He wants us to follow. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. One brother, he asked a question. He said if someone committed a sin in this dunya and he got punished for it, would he be even getting punished on a resurrection day, on a judgment day? This is how it works. If you commit a sin, Allah Azza wa Jal, what He does to the believers in this dunya, He makes them go through tests and trials. If you go through these tests and trials and you pass them, and they were good enough for the sin to be wiped off and forgiven, that will be done. If the sin is greater than that, and these tests and trials, they were not enough for this sin to be wiped off and forgiven, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you are dying, you know how you go through hardship when you are dying, you'll be rewarded for that as well. So that will be for that punishment as well. If this was good enough, it will be wiped off. If not, then you know when you die and you get to the grave, and how the 2 angels comes and ask you, and you go through the trial as well. This punishment of the grave, they will wipe out what you did in this dunya. If they were good enough, khalas, everything is done. If not, on the resurrection day, you won't be on the side of who will be in peace. Now you will be with those who were going through hardship. If that's good enough to wipe out your sins, okay, that will be done, and then you will be, okay, on a safe side. If not, then when Allah Azza wa Jal judge you, the judgment will be so, in a way, for those who are committing sin, it won't be as easy as the one who did not commit a sin. The judgment will be a little bit harsh. If that's enough, it's enough. If not, when you're going through the sirat, when you going through the sirat, if you got a sin, you don't go straight past the sirat. You will fall and go up, fall and go up, fall and go up, okay, until you come to the end. If this is good enough, you pass. If not, you fall. You fall, Allahu A'lam, for how long? Until these sins is wiped out and you are forgiving, then you come out to get to paradise. Okay, did you get it? So that's how it is. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us. To forgive us. Because the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, if someone committed a sin, repent. And if you repent, Allah Azza wa Jal will forgive you. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us. Tayyib. Assalamu alaikum. Could you give advice to sisters who wish to give da'wah to their non-hijab sister, hijabi that are clothed but naked? Clothes but naked. Jazakallah khair. Tayyib. Listen carefully, okay? Islam is a complete religion. Islam is a complete religion. You cannot take one part and you leave one part. You have to take the whole religion, okay, at once. There is an advice for the da'iyah, for the person who's giving da'wah. Allah Azza wa Jal said, وَادْعُ إِلَى سَبِيلِ رَبِّكَ بِالْحِكْمَةِ وَالْمَوْعِظَةِ الْحَسَنَةِ وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. For those who are giving da'wah, you have to start with wisdom. Before the righteous and good word, you start with wisdom. Then you tell them the nice and good way and the good words. Then if they don't, you debate them in a way they will accept. You debate them in their own way that they will accept. Not debating in a way to prove to them they are wrong and you're right. Okay? وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. In a way that they will accept in the right way. Okay? In another word, don't go to a person who does not pray and tell him, where's your hijab? Or tell her, where's your hijab? This is not wise. What do you need to start with? Start with the most appropriate thing that they should do, yeah? And what is the most appropriate after the shahada? Is the salah. Because Allah Azza wa Jal said in the Quran, إِنَّ الصَّلَاةَ تَنْهَى عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ وَالْمُنْكَرِ. If they pray, a prayer will prevent them from falling into haram actions. Okay, tayyib. What is the most important thing you need to do for the prayer to be valid? The prayer. Wudu, yeah? Can you pray without wudu? Why wudu? Why we need to make wudu? Someone might tell me because, we need to be clean. Yeah. What else? What else for wudu? Wallahi, if you understand the religion properly, it will all make sense. What the shaitan made from? What will put him off? Water. When you make wudu, what are you doing? Habib, you're putting the shaitan off yourself. So when you get to the prayer, you are free of the shaitan. So when you pray, you'll be concentrating. But don't go make wudu, and you still have these shaitanic ideas in your head. And before you start praying, you're thinking about the dunya, your business, this, that, whatever. So what you did? You put him off there and you brought him back before you went to prayer. No. When you make wudu, make sure you concentrate. Now, all what I have to think about pleasing Allah Azza wa Jal. I made wudu, the shaitan's not there anymore. I'm clean and prepared. When you come to the prayer and you say, Allahu Akbar. Some ulama, they said when you raise your hand, okay, the purpose of raising the hand that way, backward, they said just like if you're saying all of the dunya on the top of this head, when you say Allahu Akbar, you throw it back. You threw it behind your back and you came toward Allah Azza wa Jal. Now if you can get this person to pray properly and concentrate in her prayer or in his prayer, then you can go next. Then you can talk to him about something else. How would you talk to someone about the hijab if they're not praying properly? So this is what I will advise, okay? Try to work on their religion. Try to work on their iman before you tell them. Why? Because everything else will start falling. Everything else will start falling. Yani just say someone, he lies, he cheated, no hijab, this, that, whatever, you know, 100 million things. Well, you gotta tell him, sit down, yalla, bismillah. You're not allowed to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30, and what happened? Get out of here, man. Wallah, it's very hard to follow your religion. What happened if you tell him, hey, look, do whatever you want? Only one thing. When you pray, make sure you concentrate and ask Allah Azza wa Jal. Okay, ask Allah Azza wa Jal to help you to get to paradise. No more. Wallahi, the prayer on its own, it is the whole religion. And the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, when he told Ka'b, he said, okay, remind me to teach you a chapter of the Quran that Allah Azza wa Jal did not reveal anything like it in any books before. And what was it? Surah Al-Fatiha. When you recite Surah Al-Fatiha, we got quick so I can get through the questions, okay? When you recite Surah Al-Fatiha on its own, at the beginning, when you say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, you're praising Allah for everything. When you say Alhamd mean you're praising Allah Azza wa Jal for everything. See, when you pick up the water, when you want to drink the water, think of this water in the desert, when it's 50 degrees, when no water around except this. How valuable is that? Think about it. How easy now you got water next to you. Imagine in Ramadan, midday. What would this mean to you? So valuable. Think about it that way. Think about it that way. You're praising Allah for everything He gave you. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. What's Ar-Rahman? The merciful. Which means you are standing in front of the merciful. No matter what you're asking for, He will give you. How powerful He is. Maliki Yawmuddin. He is the king on the judgment day. The merciful that you're standing in front of, how powerful He is. Okay, He is the owner. He is the owner. He is the king on the judgment day. What do you want? Ya Rabb, Iyyaka na'budu wa Iyyaka nasta'een. Which means, Ya Rabb, I worship You alone and I seek help from You alone. And what Allah says in return, this is between me and my servant, and for my servant what he asked for. And what do you tell him next? Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Guide us along the path of the straight path of الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ صِرَاطَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ. The path of those who You bestow His mercy upon. Who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed His mercy upon? Prophet and messengers. So in another word, what are you telling Allah Azza wa Jal? Ya Rabb, in Surah Al-Fatiha, guide me the path of the Prophet and messengers. And I'll ask you in return, can you handle the path of the Prophet and messengers? Can you handle it? If you say no, I'll tell you then you are making the wrong dua. And if you say yes, show Allah Azza wa Jal. Show Allah Azza wa Jal that you are asking for the right path, and see how much Allah will help you. How come you say Allahumma ahdina siratal alladhina an'amta alayhim, and on the other hand you do things haram? Man, how many people they know the story of Ayub alayhi salam? And how many I know from the Arabs, okay? They say, Ya sabr Ayub, Ya sabr Ayub. Okay, the patience of Ayub. Man, can you handle to be like Ayub? Man, Ayub, he had 10 children, they died within 3 months. He had so much money, he was very rich, he lost all his money. Okay, and he became sick to the stage where all the people that left him and ran away from him. And he was patient, and his wife, she went to work to feed him for 18 years. 18 years Ayub was sick. No people around him. And when his wife came to and asked Ayub, Ya Ayub, you're a prophet. Ask Allah Azza wa Jal to help you. You know what he said? He said, how many years we lived in ease? How many years we lived in comfortable life? How many years we had children and money and wealth and friends? She said 8 years. He said, Wallahi, I'm too embarrassed to ask Allah Azza wa Jal until I will be in this hardship for 8 years. Man, can you be like him? But guess what? In Surah Al-Fatiha, you're asking Allah to be like him. Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim, sirat alladhina an'amta alayhim. What's next? غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Ya Rab, don't make me of those who they know and they don't implement. And don't make me like those who they implement with no knowledge. Yani either way, you cannot know something and don't apply it, and you cannot apply something that you don't know. Okay, so that's what it means. Give da'wah in a proper way. Give him with, yani start with the most appropriate thing. Don't go to someone, okay, yani who is in a disco or whatever, and you go to him in the disco and he's dancing and you tell him, fear Allah. What are you doing here telling me fear Allah? Sah wala la. So you have to be careful. And wallahi, if this is wallahi, it works, okay? You do just keep like some DVDs, not DVDs, like some audio tapes, okay? Yani audio CDs in your car. Not all the same. Have some anashid, have some Quran, have some lectures, okay? You're driving the car, maybe you stand next to someone whose his music very loud, you look at him as someone, you know, Salaam alaikum brother, hello, how are you? Like, sure, I've got nothing else, Bismillah. Don't give him a lecture, give him anashid. Don't give him a lecture, give him anashid. Why? This guy from music, to drop him to anashid, it's alright, but to give him a lecture, no way he will listen to it. Give him nasheed. You're driving a car and someone next to you listening to a nasheed. Salaam alaikum brother, wa alaikum salam. How are you? Like, mashallah man, instead of listening to a nasheed, wasting your time, here listen to Quran. Listen to lecture. Okay, you give da'wah in that way. Da'wah is not the same to everyone, okay? You have to give da'wah to every person different. And that's how Nabi ﷺ used to do it. And always make dua for Allah Azza wa Jalla to help you and support you when you give da'wah, to do it in a proper way for people, inshallah, to listen to you. Now we go through the question quicker, okay? Salam alaikum. If we miss tahajjud prayer, what do we do? Tahajjud prayer and is missing tahajjud and fajr at the same level. No. Missing fajr, you'll be punished for that. Missing tahajjud, you miss the reward. Okay? If a time comes where the jama'ah prayer is on, you leave everything for the salat al-fard, okay, for the compulsory prayer. Missing tahajjud, you're missing a reward. But missing fajr, you're missing, okay, you'll be punished for missing the fajr. So you gotta be careful, they're not the same. Assalamu alaikum. I'm not sure if misrelates to you. This is a request, not a question. It's related to the same, like giving da'wah. It's the same thing, inshallah. As we said, for the da'wah, you can apply for that. What should a girl do if she wants to wear the hijab and her family does not allow her? What should we say to those who come to our door to give us info on Christianity? First of all, for those, okay, for the sister who's saying she need to wear the hijab but her family don't allow her, wallahi, it is shame upon this family. It is shame upon this family for their daughter to wish to put the hijab on and they don't allow her. And as we said when we were talking about the history, okay, Mus'ab bin Umair, he was a young man, 16, 17, he went against the will, okay, of his family to embrace Islam. And when we talk about him, we feel, like we wish if we were in his position. And when we say radiyallahu an, okay, we feel so happy. And he's the one, when he passed away and Nabi alayhi salam cried, okay, when they were trying to cover him, the garment that he was wearing was not long enough to cover his head and his feet. So if they covered the head, the feet used to reveal. If they cover the feet, the head used to reveal. Then Nabi ﷺ cried. He said, this young man who was in Mecca, he used to wear the perfume, no one ever wear the same perfume that he did. His mother used to order the perfume especially for him from India. In their time from India, he never wore, okay, the same garment twice again, twice. That's how rich he was, and he left all this dunya for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. And today when he dies, we don't have enough, okay, garments to cover him with. That's Mus'ab, man. This young man, okay, when we mention him, you love him. Don't you like your daughter and your son to be the same? So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help this family to support this girl. And we tell this girl, don't listen to your family and put the hijab on. Because the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said, no one should be obeyed in disobedience of Allah Azza wa Jal. You shouldn't obey anyone in the disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You put the hijab on. If they don't like it, tell them to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in regard of that, so they come to you, to talk about Christianity. These people, they don't even know their religion. Just ask them one question and let him explain it to you. Tell him when a father can be a son. When a father can be a son. Okay? If you committed a crime, I'll get your son and I'll put him in a jail. How fair is that? If you committed a crime, I will take your son and put him in a jail. How fair is that? If your cat ate your food, you go and kill the dog. Come on, man. Go down to reality. These people, they don't even know what they're talking about, okay? They've been trained just to say a few words and that's it. If you talk to them, they run away. Alright? They wouldn't know even their own religion. I'll tell you a story, just a quick one. Once I had the same people coming to me, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pushed them and they made a big mistake to come and knock on my door, yeah? They walked in, these nice, beautiful, nice two young girls. They walked in and they want to talk about, this, and they were from the Mormon Christian sect. So what I did invite them in. They walked in and I pretended like I didn't know anything, and I was listening to them to what to say, and I picked their Bible, I just picked it up to look at it. While they were talking, of course they're not covered, and I was just going through pretending like I'm listening. Then I said to one of the girls, I go, sorry for interruption, what you're saying is so beautiful and nice. So you follow this book? Yeah, she said, yeah, we do follow it. I go, it's really good, at least now I can see people who follow, the word they say. Many people out there, they say one thing, but they don't follow their books. Man, this book is beautiful, it's really amazing. But I just found something here I cannot understand. What is it? In somewhere in the Bible it says about the woman, if they're not covered, to shave their hair. I told her, can you read this for me? Like I didn't get it. And she read it and she goes, yeah, but. I go, no, it's okay, don't worry, no, keep going. And I just, kept going. While she was going, okay, and talking about God, whatever, I go, how do you pray? She goes, you cross your fingers like this and you ask God in heaven. And in the Bible it says that Isa alayhi salam, when he prayed, he did fall and prostrate to Allah Azza wa Jal. And I said, can you explain this? Like, how come this guy here, whoever he is, praying this way? When she read it and she said, Jesus fall on his forehead, praying for the Father in heaven. And she said, yeah, but his time is different. I go, look, do you follow this book or you don't? She said, no, we do. I go, okay, khas, keep going. And I went, to the ham and alcohol side. And I said, do you drink alcohol? She said, just a little bit. I go, what does it say here? Yalla, time up. She said, we have to leave, we have to leave. I go, how about I'll give you an advice? I'll give you an advice. Wallah, so small and easy advice. All what you need to do, just raise your hand. Don't say Father, don't say Son. Just say Allah, God, the Lord of everything, the Creator of everything. You who created everything, okay? Guide my heart to worship you, because I love you and I'm lost. I don't know what to do. And inshallah tomorrow you'll be Muslim. They train not to listen, and they left. طيب. Can you please explain, as many women have the period, and come to the mosque and sit and they don't pray, just talk, are they allowed to come to the mosque at all? Now, of course, like women with menses, they're not allowed to come to the mosque. Okay, they're not allowed to the mosque, and they only can go past the mosque, but not to sit in the mosque. All right, unless there is a room outside the mosque and the speakers, extended to there, they can sit there and listen, like the lectures, whatever, so they don't miss out. But to come to the mosque, like inside the mosque, no, they're not allowed. For the women with menses and for the men with janaba. What the best way to help parents on their children behavior? Some parents don't like to be told how to raise their children. Wallah, before the raising up the children, we need to raise up the parents. Okay, the children, they will be inshallah on the safe side if the parents are on the safe side. Because if the parents are righteous, then the children will be righteous. If the parents are good, then the kids will be good. Okay? So look after them, look after yourself first, and Allah will look after them. And someone may ask me a question, how can it be? I'll say, okay, your son in the house, what does he have in his house as an entertainment? Apart from the TV, the internet, the Wii, the PlayStation, okay, you name it. He got all of that, yeah? What else he got? Maybe love stories, or maybe some toy stories, whatever, you name it. Have you ever tried to give him a Sahaba stories, or a way that he can learn about the Sahaba? Just like one day, not far back, like maybe 3 weeks, I was giving a talk like this, and I was talking about, the Sahaba, and like one brother, wallah, I was shocked. One brother, I looked at him, I said, Subhanallah, man, you know Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu? And he goes, who is he? He doesn't even know who Abu Bakr is. Man, how can you be Muslim and you don't even know who Abu Bakr is? Radiallahu anhu. Alright? Teach your kid. And what happened when they grow up? I always give this example, and it's nice to repeat it. Maybe I said it here last time. Imagine you go and you got a seed of an apple and you put it in the ground, and you will have a tree. A tree of what? Apples, yeah? How about when the tree is about to give the fruits? You see it under the branches, and you start saying, Ya Rab, make it orange, Ya Rab, make it orange, Ya Rab, make it orange. Would it work? It would not work. So what you have planted, you will receive. Okay? So how did you look after your kids? How did you look after them? In front of the TV? So you're not the parents, Habib, the TV is. Okay? So you got to be careful. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to help us all and guide us, inshallah. Okay, to look after ourselves and look after our families. Is it okay to be friends with non-Muslim who respect Islam? There is no respect with all respect. Okay? You're either a Muslim or you're not a Muslim. And the Nabi ﷺ, he said, be a friend with, and he gave an example, the person who sells perfume. At least if you don't get any benefit from him, you smell nice, you smell perfume, the fragrance of perfume. And don't be like the one, okay, he said, the one who blow into the fire, like the blacksmith. Because when he blows into the fire, you know how the fire sometimes sparks, okay? At least he said, if it doesn't spark and burn you, you'll be still smell metal. So you better be off with, okay, Muslim friend and Muslim religious friends who will help you. Okay? At the same time, I'll give you a small example, just a quick one. When the Nabi ﷺ, he called upon all the people to embrace Islam. Why out of all the uncles of the Nabi, Abu Lahab did not embrace Islam? Why out of all the friends that the Nabi ﷺ had, Abu Jahl was in the same age of Nabi ﷺ. Why he didn't embrace Islam? And Nabi ﷺ, he made dua for Umar and for Umar ibn al-Khattab and for Amr bin Hisham, Abu Jahl. Why Umar ibn al-Khattab accepted Islam, not Abu Jahl? Why Umayyah bin Khalaf, out of all the leaders, did not embrace Islam? Why Abu Talib, who supported the Nabi all the way through, did not embrace Islam? Okay? Why Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul, the head of the Munafiqeen in Medina, did not embrace Islam? Why? Just a quick one. Okay? Just a quick one. Why? If you get to Abu Lahab, you see Abu Lahab, he was the second best person in Bani Abdul Muttalib. When Abu Talib was dying, who was for the leadership? Abu Lahab. If Abu Talib died, Abu Lahab will be the leader of this, okay, of this family, of this tribe, which is Bani Hashim. If the Prophet is a prophet, who will be the leader? Muhammad ﷺ. So what happened to Abu Lahab? He's not a leader anymore. So because of the interest of him being the leader, he did not accept Muhammad to be a prophet. Why Abu Jahl? Abu Jahl tribe and the Nabi ﷺ, or family, and the Nabi ﷺ family, they were always in race, always racing, okay? And what Abu Jahl said, they have rich one, we have rich one. They have generous one, we have generous one. They have a strong one, we have a strong one. If I say Muhammad the prophet, where would I get for my family a prophet? So in another word, the family of the Prophet will be winning. So he didn't accept it for that. Okay? Why Umayyah bin Khalaf? And Nabi ﷺ, when he was telling the Sahaba about Islam, he told them the slaves and the master are the same. All the people like the teeth of the comb, they're all the same. Umayyah was the person who used to trade in slavery. He's the one who used to bring these people and sell them as slaves. So really it was against his trade. So he didn't accept for the slave to be equal to him. So he didn't accept Islam. Okay, why Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul, he did not accept Islam? Why Sa'ad bin Mu'adh and Ubay bin Salul, they were the same in Medina? Why Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul did not accept and Sa'ad accepted? Because Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul, he was prepared to be the king of Medina. They even had the throne, okay, and the crown ready for him. And when the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam came, what happened to his kingdom? Destroyed. So he couldn't accept the Prophet, okay, to come to Medina. Why? Because when Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, as a Prophet, would he be a king? No. So it's always against their interest. Okay. Now, when you come and tell me someone who respects Islam, I cannot accept someone who respect Islam and can be a Muslim. As an example, like Abu Talib. Abu Talib, how much he respected Islam, how much he looked after the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. How much he supported the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. And not only this, when the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he came to Abu Talib, when the Quraysh, they came to Abu Talib and they said to Abu Talib, Ya Abu Talib, like, we had enough. Speak to your nephew, we had enough. Speak to your nephew to stop swearing at our religion and the religion of your parents. Then Abu Talib, he said, Ya ibn akhi, ya Muhammad. Okay, like, stop swearing at them, like, take it easy. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam cried. Why? He thought Abu Talib won't support him anymore. Okay, he cried. Then Abu Talib, he said to him, he said, Ya Muhammad, Wallahi, I would not give you up. I will keep on supporting you and do whatever you want and say whatever you want, but I will be only following the religion of Abdul Muttalib. So in another word, what Abu Talib did? Abu Talib did support the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, not for the sake of the religion, but he supported him for the sake of the family, for the sake of the tribe, for the sake of being his nephew. Okay, it's not because he's a prophet. So that's why he didn't embrace Islam. Why Hamza accepted Islam? And Hamza did not hear from the Nabi, and he doesn't know the Nabi much. Abu Talib lived with him. Yani Nabi lived with Abu Talib. He looked after him after all his life. Why Hamza embraced Islam? Hamza, they used to call him the lion hunter. The lion hunter. So when he was coming and he saw Abu Jahl, okay, hitting the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. Mind you, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam always used to beat Abu Jahl when they were young. When they used to wrestle, always the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to beat him. Okay? But this time, because when he became prophet and messenger, he wanted to show that I don't get upset. Abu Jahl when they were young. When they used to wrestle, always the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to beat him. Okay? But this time, because when he became prophet and messenger, he wanted to show that I don't get upset and angry for my sake. I get upset and angry for the sake of Allah. Abu Jahl came and he smacked the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam on his face. Hamza, he heard that the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was smacked. What happened? He went to Abu Jahl and he said to Abu Jahl out of anger. Alright, he said to Abu Jahl, he said, how would you hit someone a'za, like someone with no weapon? Who do you think you are? Okay, then he said he's lying. He smacked him on the face and he said, you know Muhammad doesn't lie. And I am on the religion of my nephew. And I say what he said. This, when he said it, he did not say it because he believed in Islam. He didn't even know what Muhammad saying. It's just because for the family. Then he went to Muhammad and he said, Ya Muhammad, what you saying to the people? And he said to him, all these God, they're not true God. The only God is one and he is above his heaven and he is the ruler of everything. What Hamza did, he said, Wallahi ibn akhi, oh my nephew, when I go out in the desert, he's a lion hunter, man. When I go out in the desert, I'll always think, how can God can be in between four walls? How can God be between four walls? When I go to hunt, I feel there is something greater out there I can rely on. Wallahi, what you're saying, Ya Muhammad, is the truth. And I ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Okay? So that's how it is. So when you tell me someone is Muslim and he respects Islam and so on, in return he wants you to respect his religion. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. When he comes to you, Happy Ramadan, Eid Mubarak. Okay? There is no such thing. Okay? We cannot accept it because you need someone to help you and support you. Because we all have our iman goes up and down. So you want your iman when it's down, your friend who is a Muslim religious practicing to help you to pull you out. Okay? You don't want someone when you don't pray and it doesn't matter, man. God is merciful. Pray tomorrow. Okay, Dave, I have money in the bank, but the bank wants to pay me interest. I don't want the interest they will pay me. What should I do? Now, really, if you want, what you can do, this money, you can take it out from the bank. Okay, I'm talking about the interest. Take it out from the bank and pay it into not a charity to individuals, but a charity for the public.
Yani for example, like you pay into a road, making road or footpath or anything that's used for the public. But you won't be rewarded for that. Don't think this is your money you pay in charity. No. Okay? This is what you need to do. Dear brother, could you please tell the responsibility of a wife toward her husband, what a wife should do for her husband in this world? Thanks. This is a nice question. I love questions like that. Okay? And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he said for the sisters, I'm not going to say I wish if I was a female. Alhamdulillah, that's I'm a male. Okay? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it so easy for the sisters. Wallahi, you cannot believe. Allah made it so easy for the sisters, but they chose to make it hard for themselves. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it so easy for the sisters, they chose to make it hard for themselves. And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he said for the sisters, for the woman, if she prays her 5 prayers, and she prevents herself from committing adultery, and she obeys her husband, she will be called from any door of paradise to enter it. How hard is that? Pray you 5 times, don't do zina, and obey your husband. You will be called from all the doors of paradise. And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, for the sisters, for the wives, he said, if I was going to order someone to prostrate before before someone other than Allah, I would have ordered the woman to prostrate before her husband. But we don't want the brothers now to take advantage out of this and he think, well, he is a king with a whip and she's a slave, okay? And no. It's not like that, okay? Because what happened when a Sahabi came to the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, who is for my companion, Ya Rasulullah? Who should be my companion? Ya Rasulullah, he said, your mother. Who else? Your mother. Who else? Your mother. 3 times. And he said, who else? He said, your father. And there is a hadith, okay, some ulama, they said it's authentic, some ulama, they said it's weak. Just say it's weak, okay? But you can take the advantage out of knowing the hadith. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, paradise under the feet of your mother. Okay, under the feet of your mother. But what backs it up? Authentic hadith that authenticated. When the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was going up the minbar, he said, Ameen, Ameen, Ameen. And when the Sahaba, they said, what you saying, Ya Rasul? Why you were saying Ameen? He said, Jibreel alayhi salam, he came to me and he said, whoever be with his parent or one of them and he doesn't enter paradise because of them, he should suffer. He should suffer. Okay? So in other words, if you are with your parent or one of them, try your best to please them, why to enter paradise inshallah because of them. And just one Sahabi, he cried when his mother died so much. When they came to him, they said, like, why you cry so much? Shouldn't you rely on Allah Azza wa Jal? He said, I'm not crying for the death of my mother. I'm not crying for the death of my mother because everyone will die. But I'm crying for the rahmah door that closed with her death. Okay? Because the mercy doors closed with her death. Okay? So that's what it means. So now for the sister to look after her husband and obey him as long as he's obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for the husband to look after his wife as much as he can to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, even if you feed your wife, okay, 1 bite, it's a charity. If you feed her with 1 bite, it's a charity. And we need a lesson to go through, okay, the rights of the husband and the rights of the wife. But in general, you should understand, you two have to look after each other for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alright? And especially we're not talking about anything to upset the sisters. We're not talking about polygamy yet. We're only talking about, okay, looking after your husband and he's looking after you. Because if you talk about the door that, like they closed many years back, okay, for the sake of the fahisha to be among the ummah, and now if you bring it back, Allahu Akbar, the whole ummah will go against you. You're not allowed to have more than 1 wife. Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh. Why if your parents are not happy, don't attending to lecture and volunteering in lectures, would you listen to your parent and not attend lectures? Jazakallah khair. Now, why the parent will stop you from attending the lecture? Wallahi, sometimes it's their fault. Okay, sometimes it's their fault. What happens sometimes, like you try to become religious, yeah? Once you learn your religion, like yesterday you were listening to music, watching TV, doing whatever, now you came to a lecture, you feel your iman is up. When you're going home, you go past budding, you buy your hammer, yeah? And you get straight home, what do? You got the hammer. You walk in, Mom, Dad, you are kuffar, I want to break the TV. And from one lecture, I don't want you to go to this mosque anymore. And I don't want you to listen to this sheikh, whoever told you this. Sahara, that's what happened. Instead of coming back home and being a better person, and being more humble, more supportive. And when I look here, the son, when I tell you to get water, I need to tell you 10 times to get it. How come now from the first word you run and you get it? Mom, because I heard at the mosque, Allah Azza wa Jal will be happy with me if I obey you. MashaAllah. I get to this mosque again. When the next lecture? Subhanallah. That's how it is. Build this relationship between you and your parents. Let them see Islam made you a better person. And then come and tell me, wallah, my parents, they don't allow me to go to a lecture. How many people, especially young ones, when they learn their religion, straight away they go against everyone. Man, put yourself in their shoes. Yesterday you were like them. Take it easy, relax. Okay? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you never know when He opens the heart of a person. And make dua for them. And Allah Azza wa Jalla will help you and support you, inshallah. Okay? Then if they still insist and they don't want you to go because they don't want you to have this benefit, then going to lectures and learning your religion is compulsory, okay? And they cannot stop you. They cannot stop you. But don't do it in a harsh way. Just like once a sheikh, he came, like this is years back, okay? A sheikh came from Saudi Arabia and he was giving a lecture and he said the person who does not pray is kafir. The person who does not pray is kafir. There is a lot of discussion in that regard. Some scholars they said he is, some scholars they said no. Some scholars they say, if a person does not pray, you put him in a jail for 3 days. A big discussion. This sheikh, he was taking the opinion of, if you don't pray, you are kafir. What this person did, he went home, his mom, she doesn't pray, he kicked her out. And how old is she? She's 65 years old. When he came back the next day, very happy, smiling, and he came to the sheikh, MashaAllah, sheikh, wallah, yesterday, Allah Akbar, I did something, may Allah accept from me. What have you done? I kicked my mother out of the house. Why? Because she doesn't pray, she's kafir. And how old is she? 65. Where is she now? On the street. Allah yadik, man. Okay? This is not how you go about it. You need to know your religion properly. Learn. Ask. Okay, inshallah, we won't be long. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, brother, and jazakallah khair for coming, of course, coming over Mass here. My question is, what is the best way to stop someone to listen to the music? It's all falling into the same thing, okay? Dawah, you have to be careful. And listening to music, you should know, just give a small example, okay? Just say you have a lyric, because when you tell people music affects you, they don't believe it. No. Just give them a small example, just a little one, and something you can see. Because people, when they see things, it's easier. Get the lyric, like maybe 7 months old, 7 months, full music. See what happens. Man, he dance. Why he dance? Who told him to dance? Who told him when you listen to this, he dance? Who told him this? Who told him start reading? You should know music plays with your brain. Man, playing with someone 7 months old, what does it do to you? Okay? And another one, okay, just say you're sitting in the car, bored, you're doing nothing. You put music on, okay, loud, and this music, Allah start telling you to go out and have fun, whatever. Don't you feel like you're motivated now? You want to go out, you want to do this, you want to do that. You don't get anymore, you start screaming, you open the window and you shout and this, whatever. That's what happened. So what happened to you? Man, the music, that's what it does to you. On top of all of this, the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, the music is the Quran of the Shaitan. Music is the Quran of the Shaitan. Alright, so you should explain to these people, music, it does damage to your brain, okay? Encourage you to do things haram. Assalamu alaikum, I am fairly new Muslim, and I haven't done much learning. Who exactly are the Sahaba? Okay, please, thank you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala support you and reward you, inshallah, and give you strength and give you knowledge. and welcome to Islam. And if someone, when I look at someone who, if will die right now, will get to paradise, look at this sister who embraced Islam. You know why? Because the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, for the person who embraced Islam, Allah Azza wa Jal will wipe out all his sins. Everything he did in the previous life will be wiped out. And not only that, everything he did in the past will turn into hasanat. Yani this new Muslim person is free of sin, full of hasanat. Okay? And the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam has told us about this person that will be in a high level of paradise. Why? Because Allah Azza wa Jal, He looks at the heart of these people and He chooses whoever He wants. And He only chooses the one that deserves to be Muslims. Okay? And when we say Sahaba, what it means, they are the companions, the friends of the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. As the definition for them, they say, the people who met the Nabi, saw the Nabi, and embraced Islam, and they died as Muslim. Yani the one who saw the Nabi, okay, who saw the Nabi as Muslims, and they died as Muslims, they are the companion of the Prophet, and all of these companions, they are pleased by Allah, and Allah was pleased by them. We ask Allah to resurrect us with them, inshallah. And as for the sister, inshallah, she left her mobile number here. I will SMS you my number, inshallah, if you need any help and support, inshallah. Okay, then you can, by the will of Allah Azza wa Jal, call me or send me an SMS, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, brother. My father is a good father in terms of religion outside of the home, but when it comes inside of the house, he loses his temper, raises his voice, and also say to put Islam outside, whatever. Okay, he argues with his mother. What should we say? I hope this father is here. If this father who have two faces, we ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to help him to have only one face. This person has two personalities. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to join these personalities under the good one. Okay? And remember, the person who act one thing outside the house and another in the house, he is a munafiq. He is a munafiq, he is a hypocrite. And what's a munafiq? Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, he is in the dark aspect of and he is in the lowest level of hell. Why? Because he showed one thing, and he believed in another. Alright? So we have to be really careful. And when you argue with someone and you tell them put the religion on the side, you gotta be careful, Habib. When you say put the religion on the side, you're becoming a disbeliever in that. Because you cannot say put the religion on the side. The religion should be implemented all the time. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help this person, okay, to follow the right way and to put that understanding of Allah being a different person on the side. And if he cannot be good to the people in your house, he cannot be good to the people outside the house. Assalamu alaikum. Why men always think of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He has 4 wives, but I can't look after one. I couldn't get the other side. Why men they think Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had 4 wives? They're wrong. He had 9, not 4. It's a big mistake to say 4. He had 9, and some narration says he had 11. Okay? And well, I don't want to talk about this much. We should have a lecture about this. I know people will start hating me for this. Allah Azza wa Jalla is merciful. And when Allah Azza wa Jalla started the verse, He did not start with 1. He ended with 1. He started with 2. And He ended with 1. So really, why the Sunnah you have to have 2, then 3, then 4. If you cannot be just 1, would you like to be just or not? No, try. Okay? Wallahi, it's a mercy. Why Allah Azza wa Jalla to make this ruling? Alright, so we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us and support us, inshallah. Brothers, would you please explain the correct way of hijab? Okay, just a quick one, inshallah. The hijab should be like a loose and baggy, okay, and covering from top to bottom. But try not to show your body, okay. And one other time is, what should a girl do if her family doesn't let her to wear the niqab? wearing the niqab, if you mean like wearing the niqab covering the face, because some people they mean like niqab just covering with a big jilbab, and some of them they mean the niqab covering the face. Okay, if covering the face, and when I give this, it doesn't mean showing your eyes now. Covering the face. Okay, if you mean covering the face, there are opinions upon the niqab upon the ulama. Some of them they said it's compulsory, some of them they said it's sunnah. If you chose to put it on, no one can stop you. And if your family say no, you can convince them and tell them, look, when I pray the sunnah of Dhuhr and Asr and Maghrib, would you say not to do it? If they say no, we can't say that, tell them this equal to that. This equal to that. Just like in our tradition, when someone got to Hajj, they call him Hajj Muhammad. Why? Because Hajj is the pillar of Islam. As-Salah pillar of Islam. Why don't you call him Ya Musalli Muhammad? Why don't you call him Ya Muzakki Muhammad? It's just because of tradition taking over. Okay? If you find yourself that you can put the niqab properly and don't be affected, you can tell your parent, look, I want to put it because this is a sunnah of Nabi alayhi sallam and I want to be rewarded. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to help us all, inshallah, and guide us to do the right things, inshallah, to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Sorry for the